And it's time to go on the docket with attorney John Patrick Dolan as he breaks down all your legal news. First of all, thanks for joining us bright and early.
Indeed.
So let's start a story that we were covering a little bit earlier, talking about 7 people who are charged with medical fraud. Tell me a little bit about what that means, first of all, to the consumer, and a little bit about what you know about the case.
Well, it has to do with work comp fraud, and it basically in thumbnail sketch is someone who puts together medical clinics and law firms and organizes a fraudulent scheme. That's what's being asserted by the district attorney. This case has been floating around Riverside County for several years, but there's so many people involved that have been charged, it was hard to get everyone together, and so the judge the district attorney basically went to the grand jury and got an indictment. So 7 people are indicted, and now it will move forward. You can either move forward on a preliminary hearing basis or an indictment basis. So this is now an indictment, and it will go forward. It has to do with submitting fraudulent bills, et cetera. That's the allegations regarding work comp, medical treatment, et cetera, and the law firms that represent the work comp litigants. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a 3-ring circus.
And a big dollar amount too, nearly $100 million. They're Raymond's in August.
Lots of money, and this is alleged to have started back in 2009.
Wow. All right, so on to the next one. There's going to be a bit of a change potentially in sentencing coming up on the ballot. Tell me a little bit about what that would mean, particularly, of course, for yourself as a defense attorney.
It's an initiative Governor Brown asked to add into this juvenile justice initiative some things that had to do with parole and early parole. Things like they could eliminate the special enhancements for gangs or guns, et cetera, under the right circumstances, because we still have an overcrowding problem in our prisons. So we pushed a lot of people into the county jails, and then we reduced drugs to misdemeanors, and then we required 3 strikes to be violent crimes, and we still haven't got enough people out of this prison system. So now they're going to give more authority to the parole boards, which was taken away in Brown's first tour of duty. But he realized that the unintended consequences of the overcrowding cannot be resolved with the present sentencing scheme. So they're giving a lot of authority, if it passes, to the parole boards to let people out a little bit early so that we can reduce the number of people in the California prison system.
And on to the next one, which of course has been a big talker, of course, across the nation and here in California as well, having to do with assisted death. Tell us kind of what makes that a headline for today.
Well, it starts tomorrow. It was passed in California, and tomorrow doctors around the state, if they choose to do so, can affirm that someone is within 6 months of death and give a prescription for medication that would be taken and cause a death to take place and avoid suffering is the purpose of it. Doctors don't have to do this, so you can't just demand of your doctor this, but the doctors that are willing to do this can do this now legally, and there won't be any reprisals as far as the doctor's actions, as long as they affirm someone is within 6 months of death and they provide the proper prescription. Then people can choose to end their life early. The idea is to avoid suffering, et cetera, and hopefully this will not be misused. We're testing something that has been done in Oregon and a couple other states, and we'll see if it works out in California.
Excellent. And before we go, since we still have some more time left, I want to talk about a big thing that happened this weekend.
Graduation. California Desert Trial Academy College of Law. We had 11 students graduate. They're preparing for the California bar exam. And so it took us 4 years to get them through the curriculum. We had a wonderful turnout. We had luminaries from all over the legal community show up, and our students were well honored. And I have to say that Irene and I are very proud of the progress that's been made. And right now we're recruiting for next year. So in September we hope we'll have a nice group of students to start their 4-year curriculum as well.
Perfect. Congratulations, John Patrick Dolan. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, and congrats to all of your graduates. For more information, you can go to dolanlawoffices.com.